masonry block retaining wall feature that's been introduced in version 14. So this is the fourth video that I've done in this series. So if you want to go back and see the other ones, yeah, go and have a look at those. Just sort of steps through how to create your retaining walls. But in this particular video today, I'm just going to show you a few sort of additional features that aren't too obvious, and you might find them useful in your projects. Alright, so the first thing I want to show you is way to demonstrate that is, let's just create a wall. And so just draw a string, which is going to be my position of my wall. So let's come under design, tunnel structures, masonry block wall. So let's pick the style or the type of wall I want. Let's just pick that one there. And in this exercise, I'm just going to use the tins option. And let's fill in this information. So the wall set out string, that's the one I've just drawn off the side there. And the two tins here. So the existing surface, I've just got a tin called bottom there, and the new surface is this top tin. And that's all I need. If I'm happy with all those dimensions out of the box for this style, we can just hit process. Alright, we get a green bar coming up. Green is good, and you can see there it's just come on that section view there. So that's just a cross section through there. And there's essentially my wall that's been created, which is great. And what you would normally do, like I demonstrated in the other videos, you could actually give this wall a parameter file name. I could just say retaining wall 1, and I could write that file. And then next time I come in to update this wall or rerun the wall because something's moved, I could come in here, could select my file here, and then I can just go to read, and then it will load the whole panel up. But we won't do that. Just want to show you something else that the program is doing. You might not be aware. So let's just close that. So because we selected that string as the set out string for the wall, he's actually added attributes onto that string. So if you go to strings, properties, attributes, or F8 is another shortcut to get to that. And we select that string here. You can see here, let's just make this a little bit bigger so we can see. He's added some attributes under this group called retaining wall. And you can see all the information that's in that panel. So let's get it back up now, I guess, just to show you. So all the information in this panel has been populated as an attribute onto that string, because that was the set out string that we selected. So that's pretty cool. He's doing that in the background, a little bit hidden. So you know what were all the models called, and the colors for all those different parts of this panel. And to dig a little deeper as well, he's actually going to sort of next level of attributes, and he's added this information here for the height of the block, the width of the block, and the length of the block. So that information is populated as well as an attribute. So because he's done that, what we can do, instead of using the parameter file here to load them, we can literally just have a blank panel open, and we can just simply select our wall back into the set out string, and then you can see the whole panel's been populated because all the informations were in the attribute. I guess all the wall information that's in this panel here. Yes, I thought that was pretty clever of him, and yeah, just another way you could populate this panel. If you just select the different set out strings for your different walls, you'll get your panel coming rather than using the parameter file. Alright, that's the first thing. So the next thing I want to show you is how you can create some set out data from your wall strings, you know, with eastings and northings and RLs to give to your construction crew, especially if you need to create a drawing, you know, in a table, you'd have that information. So how can we do that? So just when you normally hit your, you know, you've got your panel open and you hit process, obviously you get your wall created. And let's just have a look at this one just in 3D here, and just to show you what we've got. So this simple sort of wall I've got, it looks like there's just one sort of step there in the top of the wall, and then I think there's a step as well in the bottom of the wall, and there it is there. And they've also, we've got the strings as well that have been created, which define the edges of your tri-mesh. So now that we've got that information, again the programmers added some set out option in here. Again, it's not very obvious. So if you do a right mouse button in the white area here, so do a right mouse, you'll see the bottom area here. It says there's a set out CSV and it's active. And now if we run that wall, if you process that, it's actually created a CSV file in the background. So if we go to our working directory, you wouldn't know that unless I told you, and that's why the purpose of the video, I guess. So yep, so there it is there. It's called the wall, the vertex values.csv. So let's just open that up and let's have a look at that one. And there it is. And yep, where it is, it's on the other screen, of course. Let's bring him over here. Yeah, so that's what's been created. You know, you have your X, Y, and the Z. There's a level on the wall and there's a level on the footing, and that's obviously giving you some segment lengths there. Again, so that's something the programmers added in because it was obviously quite common. You know, we obviously want some set out information, especially if it's not going to be, the strings aren't going to be given electronically. They want a table for a drawing. And there it is there. So yeah, again, that wasn't very obvious. So you can do a right mouse button to get your CSV active, and then if you do a left mouse button, it sort of turns it off and it's back as normal. So if you run that now, obviously you won't get the set out. So yeah, just wanted to show you that as well. So the last thing I want to show you in this video is long section plotting. You know, everyone asks for a long section of a retaining wall, and just wanted to show you how you can use the strings that have been generated in your retaining wall function here, and how we can capture those strings in the plot parameter file that will create a long section quite presentable for us. Alright, so let's create a wall. Just created on the left here, just got just the super string I've just drawn, and it's just got a few bends and turns, again just to show that it doesn't, obviously works with lots of different geometry as well, not just straight walls. So let's create the wall then under design, tunnels and structures and masonry block. Again, I'm going to select my style first up. Let's pick that basic one there, and you've probably seen that a few times. Let's come down here, and in this case I'm just using the tins because I've got the two tins set up in this project here. Select the wall here, and actually this was run before, so it's populated all the panel with the different tins for the bottom and the top, and which I just showed you that. But F8, and which brings my strings attributes panel open, and you can see there all the attributes that have been added to the string. Alright, so just hit process then. Yeah, and I actually just changed some of the colors as well here, just to make it a bit more obvious for this plotting exercise. So just process that. Again, we get a green bar down the bottom, and yeah, just got a cross section here, just through this area here, and there's my wall solid sort of tri-mesh. If I regenerate that, it'll show me the wall strings that have been created at the top and at the bottom, and then the magenta ones, which are the strings around the footing. Alrighty, so that's all good. So long section down here, there's my two tins, the bottom and the top, and I've added the footing strings on here as well. So if I just profile that string there, which is the W2 string, which is at the top of the wall, you can see here, just maximize this one. You can see here that that's the obviously the tin, the top tin, that sort of orangey line there, and this is the W2 string that I selected. So that's the top of the wall profile that you can see there, and obviously underneath are the two strings for the footing. And if we just have a look at those ones, so that top one is the F4, and that one's the F3. And might have been better to highlight those so you can see them in section view. So F4 is that string right there, you can see, and then F3 is the one just below it, just that one there. Alright, so we've got our sort of strings that I've want to plot, and we can literally just go down to our long section here and click on the little printer, and we want to do a long plot. And this is the plot parameter file that opens up. Again, there's a lot of settings and variables in here to shape the way your long section looks, and thankfully 12D ship with some out of the box as well. So if you haven't got any in your own company or your own standard ones that you use, and you can actually come down to lib down here to library, and you can load some standard ones here. So the ones that I've loaded for this particular example is the PW. I think it stands for Public Works. 12D have created some standard ones, and they're quite good. You'll see what they look like. So that's the one you would normally select, and you'd read that, and it would fill all these different variables in, for text size and text color and box sizes, and the list goes on and on and on. So essentially I just read that one for this exercise, and then you can customize it to what you select what string you want to plot, and what you want to call it, and so forth, and then you would write it out into your project. So I've done that here. So I've created a let's do the top of the wall, and I select that one there, and we'll read that. So this particular long section plot parameter file, the primary string here that I'm going to be plotting is the wall string, and it's the W2, which was that one there, that top left one there. So that's the W2 string. And well, let's just run it, let's see what we get, and then we'll just talk about what else is going on here. So again, I'm plotting straight to a model, and that's what the model's called, plot W2 top. If I just run that, that'll run through happily, and it said it's finished, and there it is, one page plotted. So if we just come down here and look at open up my plot plan plot here and just add the top, and just to show you, yeah, so if we just replot that, that's the one that's plotting this long section here. So if we rerun that, obviously it gets recreated. So we'll just pop that down there for now, and let's maximize this, just show you what's happening here. So for this top of wall, what I'm doing is I'm picking up all the changes of height along the top of the wall, and then obviously I'm dropping down all the different values. So every sort of ornament here is based on the change in height for the top of the wall, and then the bottom of the wall is obviously just shown as a profile. And then this is the type of information I'm getting. So it's a running wall chainage, you know, the depth of cut and fill to the existing surface from the design from the top. And then I've also added a bottom of wall column in here to give this a level at the top, level at the bottom, and also what the difference in height is between the W2 and the F2 string. And I've chosen to plot the F2 string as the footing string. Yeah, quite presentable. And so that's, you're probably aware of just a normal plot parameter file to just do your normal road long section or what have you. But that green string, which is the bottom of wall, that's been added under boxes, and this offset string option in here. So let's just make this a little bit bigger so you can see that. So under the offset string title, height and depths, I've told it that's the footing model is where my offset string is, and then what string name is that, and it's the F2 string, and that sits in there. Yeah, and then under the titles area is where I've added a title there, the bottom of wall over here. That's where that's coming from, and nothing under height. And then also the depths. I want to label the depths, and that's the label I'm getting in here, and you can call that up, you can describe what it is, and I've called that depth W2 versus F2 there. Yeah, so it all happens under that offset string area. Yeah, so I guess that's fairly straightforward. If you need obviously a hand with filling this out, you know, contact your local support network for 12D, and I'm sure they'll be happy to help you out. Alrighty, so that's that one. And what I've also run as well, let's just maximize this, and let's get my long section back. I've also created another plot parameter file for the bottom of the wall. So this obviously drops down all the levels for the top and the changes where they occur, and then what about the bottom ones. So if I just reversed all those things that I showed you in the plot parameter file, and if I select the bottom of wall and read that one and just plot that one, and this one's going to be called bottom. We'll just run that through and just see what we get through there. Alright, that's finished. Let's just minimize that, and then on this view here, if we add the bottom long section plot, and I've obviously just plotted above the other one, so you can see this one here, this one, the primary string is the bottom string, this red string here. So you can see you're getting a lot more changes come down now, and obviously there's no sort of drop down where the top is. So you can choose to have your top string as your primary string or your bottom string. And yeah, I guess that way you can plot whichever one you want, or both if you need them both. Yeah, so fairly straightforward, I guess, if you know the sort of process, how that works. Yeah, and just the last thing, let's just have a quick look at the perspective view of this wall. We've got those models turned on. Yeah, so it's quite bit of a different shaped wall that I've just drawn, but again the macro is working fantastically, and it's creating the corners nicely. Yeah, the steps seems to be creating nicely, and yeah, I think the program has done a fantastic job here. So hopefully that'll save you a lot of time to create these walls. And that's all. I think that's all I had to show for this sort of fourth video. Just those few little tips for you. I hope you found it enjoyable, and yeah, talk to you next time. Bye for now.